In the Ultimate Universe, Reed Richards began his journey as the superhero Mr. Fantastic, but his life took a tragic turn and he underwent a transformation and became the evil and terrifying Maker. The Maker is one of the few genuinely great things that came out of the Ultimate Universe, and it's not a surprise that he managed to survive the destruction of the Ultimate Universe. The Maker is a terrifying presence who always elevates the stakes of the story when he shows up. Reed Richards is widely considered as the smartest person in the Marvel Universe, and the 616 universe has always been lucky to have him as part of the heroes. As it's insane to think about the things someone like Reed could be capable of if he ever became evil. That's where the Maker comes in. The Maker is a Reed Richards who gave up on the things that inherently make up who Reed Richards is: family and love. It lived behind a broken man who only had a desire for scientific achievements and the advancement of human society, and without the morals that used to define him. Over the years, the Maker has fought so many heroes across the Ultimate and main Marvel universe, and I thought it would be a cool idea to look into the stories that feature the transformation of Reed Richards into the Maker. Let's start at the beginning. Ultimate Reed Richards made his debut in the Ultimate Fantastic Four series in 2004, and after undergoing the cosmic accident that led to the birth of the Fantastic Four, he became the superhero known as Mr. Fantastic. Even if it may not have been planned, there were clues about how mentally unstable this Reed was. Unlike Prime Reed, Ultimate Reed grew up with an abusive father who never appreciated his intelligence and actively berated him for trying to better the world and show everyone how smart he was. Growing up in such an abusive environment with no encouragement from his father forced this Reed to grow up filled with resentment. Another interesting parallel from his earlier years is an encounter between Reed Richards and Doom. Traditionally, Reed accidentally comes across Doom's experiments and tries to warn him about his mistake, which Doom refuses to hear, leading to the accident that scars Doom's face. But in this world, Doom accidentally comes across Reed's experiments and tries to warn him about his mistakes, which Reed refuses to hear, leading to the accident that created the Fantastic Four. This is more than likely just a coincidence, but knowing what we know now about the Maker, it is nice to view it as a sort of potential foreshadowing. Now, let's talk about Reed after his life became after he became a superhero. After Reed became a superhero, life took a great turn as he enjoyed being a superhero while pursuing his science and a romantic relationship with Sue Storm. But this Reed started craving the approval of the public, which more than likely stemmed from the abusive childhood he suffered. He met alternate universe versions of him where he was married to Sue and they were happy with children, and he became enamored with the idea of that being his future as well. The romantic relationship between him and Sue blossomed, and then the ultimatum wave hit and everything changed. For those who don't know, the ultimatum event in the Ultimate Universe was a massive tidal wave as Magneto tried to destroy the world after the death of his children. It killed countless heroes and people and forever altered the lives of the people in the Ultimate Universe. In the aftermath of the Ultimate Wave, Reed attempts to propose to Sue at her father's funeral, which was probably a bad idea, but naturally she rejects his proposal and they break up, as she also feels hurt by his decision to not stay with her when she was suffering and fell into a coma and needed someone. The wave also forced Reed to become more ruthless, and he ordered Ben Grimm to kill Doctor Doom after realizing that Doctor Doom was the true mastermind. The Fantastic Four broke up soon after that, and Reed moved back in with his parents. The isolation, the breakup, the abusive environment, his childhood, the ultimatum wave. It all took its toll and slowly changed Reed's worldview. He also got a warning from a future Sue Storm, aka Kang, who urged him to do terrible things to save the world. This marked the beginning of Reed's transformation into the Maker. A few months later, Reed faked his death and killed his own family before attacking some of the most prominent scientific minds in the Ultimate Universe using aliens. The attacks have an immediate impact on the Ultimate Universe, but it turns even more devastating for all of them when they realize that the mastermind of the attacks is none other than Reed Richards. Sue Storm ends up being the first one to confront him, but he remains steadfast in his new worldview and brutally attacks her before sending her back home. Eventually, the heroes manage to gather and mount a counterattack on Reed that proves to be successful. The Human Torch burns his face off for attacking his sister, leaving him with a disfigured face. In the aftermath, the heroes return home and presume that Reed is dead as he floats aimlessly in the negative zone. But that's just the start of whatever Reed has planned. After a few months, Reed eventually returns to Earth and manages to create a group called the Children of Tomorrow and begins his plan to perfect the world. He builds a base in Germany called the Dome and accelerates the time within the Dome. After more than 900 years, the children emerge as perfect superhumans who are more than capable of handling the strongest, most powerful superheroes the Earth has. Reed takes on the role of the Maker, seeing his transformation into a megalomaniac scientist who is obsessed with perfecting the world by any means necessary. He kills the Asgardians of the Ultimate Universe and leaves Thor powerless. When Thor attacks him by himself to exact revenge, he reveals the truth about his identity and returns him to the heroes as an act of mercy. The revelation about Reed Richards being the maker and the one behind the Children of Tomorrow forces the heroes to reevaluate their strategies. He attacks Washington DC and destroys 99% of the US government. Tony Stark and Sue Storm are eventually able to lead a counterattack and defeat and capture Reed Richards. But it proves to be too little too late as Reed shows everyone the atrocities he is capable of, even though his brief reign involved him utilizing advanced technologies to better the lives of humans. Reed is eventually freed by Kang and joins the Dark Ultimates as they attempt to gather the Infinity Gems. But the attempt ends in a failure as Kang aka Future Sue Storm's attempts are foiled by the Ultimates, and this causes Reed to be imprisoned again. He eventually escapes by himself when he learns that the Galactus of the main Marvel universe has made its way to the Ultimate Universe. He offers to help the heroes and they send him along with Miles Morales to the main Marvel universe where he gets to witness the life of 616 Reed Richards and Sue Storm, and he meets his daughter Valeria Richards. This encounter seemingly changes his worldview and offers hope of Ultimate Reed being redeemed, but unfortunately it doesn't last for long. He joins SHIELD and works for Nick Fury, but on the underside, he continues his work as the Maker and also learns about incursions and starts destroying entire Earths to safeguard his world. He eventually joins the villainous Cabal and their quest to destroy as many Earths as possible, and he rescues himself along with the Cabal as the Ultimate Universe meets its end. He arrives on Battleworld and eventually meets the 616 Reed Richards and decides to work with him to overthrow God Doom. Their plan almost succeeds, but the Maker predictably betrays Reed in order to gain godhood for himself. But the Molecule Man thankfully steps in to help, and Mr. Fantastic is able to recreate the multiverse. After Mr. Fantastic recreates the multiverse, the Maker finds himself in the main Marvel universe and decides to pursue his scientific goals of the advancement of human society. He goes up against the new Avengers led by Sunspot, the Ultimates of the main Marvel universe consisting of some of the biggest hitters like Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, Blue Marvel, and more, and the Future Foundation. He eventually decides to bring back his original universe and comes into conflict with Venom aka Eddie Brock during his attempts. The Maker eventually manages to succeed and returns to his own seemingly resurrected universe, but this plot point is seemingly forgotten or dropped as the next time we see him, he is back in the main Marvel universe where he comes into conflict with the Illuminati and begins working on a new goal, a new Ultimate Universe where he systematically eradicates the heroes that could oppose him and turns it into a world that is firmly under his control. The Maker recently created his own Ultimate Universe to great success, and he seems poised to become the major villain of the universe for years to come, or however long the new Ultimate Universe lasts. Considering the growing popularity and the compelling nature of the character, I believe he will continue to grow in status and that he has the potential to become one of Marvel's best and most tragic villains. He represents one of the best and most organic storytelling that came out of the original Ultimate Universe. It is surprising to me that we still haven't gotten a proper story focusing on Reed Richards versus Reed Richards, despite the Maker being in the 616 universe for years. I also want the Maker to go up against 616 Doctor Doom, as I believe that could make for a very compelling and interesting story. But for now, it seems like the future for the Maker looks bright, and he has his hands busy with the new Ultimate Universe, and I cannot wait to see what further machinations he has planned for the new Ultimate Universe and the heroes within them.